You might say there's something off about the final fight scene in the movie Black Panther. It kind of feels like you're watching a computer game, right? So why is it that some visual effects artists convince with their use of CGI and others don't? And how is this linked to 17th century artists like van der Helst and Heda? Computer-generated imagery, or CGI for short, is everywhere and often is really impressive. Avengers, Game of Thrones, Star Wars, random TV commercials.
Oh, who's laughing now? Gazelle!
They're all packed with computer animation. It was first introduced in 1976 in Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. George Lucas was quick to adopt CGI in the first Star Wars trilogy for the iconic lightsabers. And the first three-dimensional figure appeared in Young Sherlock Holmes back in 1985. This was impressive, but not as impressive as the liquid robot in Terminator 2. This is from 1990, everybody. That's 29 years ago. Now let's take a quick leap in time to 2019. The use of CGI has skyrocketed. On the one hand, this has to do with the public's demand for overwhelming special effects that immerse you in another world. And on the other hand, it has to do with the digital revolution that we're in. The technology is available and just keeps getting more and more advanced. However, from an artistic standpoint, CGI is not necessarily better than it was, say, 10 years ago. More is not always better, and limitation breeds creativity. Alright, with that in mind, let's go back to that Black Panther fight scene. There are a couple of reasons why it just does not feel realistic. First off, there's no reference to a real environment. Everything is animated from the background to the characters themselves. Because of that, the laws of physics don't seem to apply. Everything appears to be more or less weightless. And secondly, the characters and their environment look a little too smooth and there's no real tension in the lighting whatsoever. There's no obvious single light source. Compare all of this with the stunning 2006 Pirates of the Caribbean scene where a computer-animated Davy Jones interacts with a real person. Check out the complexity of his skin, the movement of the tentacles, and how they have matched the lighting perfectly to the real person. Good CGI is not necessarily about the technology. It's also about understanding the laws of physics. It's about artists observing and understanding reality in every miniature detail and transporting that to their medium. Some 400 years ago, two painters mastered this principle, Bartholomeus van der Helst and Willem Heda. Why does this still life look like a photograph? Well, not only is it extremely well painted, the laws of physics are applied. The light source not only illuminates the objects, it reflects on its surfaces, and in its turn, these surfaces become light sources that illuminate other objects as well. The devil is in the detail. The visual effects artists from Pirates of the Caribbean did this perfectly in their rendering of Davy Jones. See how the lighting interacts between the real actor and Davy Jones? It's spot on. Or check out this impressive painting by Rembrandt's biggest competitor of the time, van der Helst. His knowledge and rendering of surface materials was insane. Like this gold brocade jacket and this harness perfectly reflecting the room. His understanding of physics and anatomy were key to his success. And again, the devil is in the details. Like the subtle shadows in between the hands and their objects, the complexity of the skin, or the way the black silk absorbs and slightly reflects the lighting at the same time. But even van der Helst wasn't perfect. See if you can find some things that do not entirely comply with the laws of physics yourself, and let us know in the comments. You can find links to the painting in the description. You don't have to be a scientist to understand the laws of physics or anatomy. You just have to closely observe the world around you and pay attention to details to be genuinely convincing. Each light particle, each complexion of the skin, each shadow, it's all about the details. But what do you think? Is this art? Let us know whether you think CGI is art or not, and let us know your suggestions for future episodes of Is This Art? Thanks for watching.